Tamil families of the disappeared marked their 1,000th day of protest on November 16th. Many witnessed their kin taken into military custody in 2009. Others saw their loved ones abducted in white vans. White van abductions were deployed by Sri Lanka's leaders, including former Defense Minister and now turned President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, to abduct and forcibly disappear individuals, largely Tamil, through the enduring conflict. Sri Lanka has one of the highest numbers of enforced disappearances, with up to 100,000 cases. The Sri Lankan government particularly targeted Tamil civilians and former cadres during the final phase of the armed conflict in 2009. Many were detained by the army and promised eventual release. A week ahead of the 2019 elections, a white van driver appeared in a press conference and revealed,
මොකද හේතුව අර ඔක්කොම අයින් කළානේ. ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නේ සාමාන්‍ය මන් නම් අහලා තියෙන විදිහට මිනිස්සෙක් කිඹුලෙක් ගත්තාම එකපාරට කන්නේ නැහැ. ඌ අරන් ගිහලා කොයි හරි තැනක හංග වෙනවා. හංගලා තියලා පසුව තමයි ඌ කන්නේ. සමහරක් කිරුවට හොයාගන්න බැරි වුණොත් තමයි බොඩි එකක් උඩට එන්නේ. ඉතින් මේකෙදි සමහරක් කිරුද ඔක කැණීමක් කරොත් ඔය වැවේ ඇටකටු 100 ගාණක් හම් වෙන්න පුළුවන්.
In spite of this, Rajapaksa was elected into Sri Lanka's highest office with an overwhelming majority in all regions, except the Tamil-dominated Northeast. The Tamil families of the disappeared decided to boycott the election, announcing, "Whoever becomes president, we do not believe justice would be provided to us by the Sri Lankan state. That's why we demand an international mechanism." Today, the Tamil families continue their brave protest in spite of serious risks to their safety, including surveillance, harassment, and intimidation by Sri Lankan security forces. This assault has only intensified under Rajapaksa's government. The woman-led protests began on February 20th, 2017, when the families of the disappeared started demonstrating at the roadside in Kilinochchi to demand answers regarding the locations and fates of their disappeared loved ones. Their mobilization sparked sister protests across the Northeast, first in Vavuniya, then Trincomalee, Mullaitivu, and Merundankani. Their demands are simple. The families have laid out 5 principal demands, most notably for the government to release a list of the names of all the detainees and the locations of secret detention centers they are confined in. Although the government created the Office of Missing Persons in 2016, not a single one of their demands have been met, 1,000 days later. Since the start of the families' protest, at least 53 family members have died in pursuit of the truth about what happened to their loved ones. Last year's statement by the Association of Relatives of the Enforced Disappearance said, "There won't be anyone to fight for this sentimental task if we too died like those mothers in the future." This is the Sri Lankan government's expectation. After 1,000 days of excruciating protest, it is upon us to amplify their calls for justice. We are calling on allies and members of the Tamil diaspora especially to contact your local government official and demand justice and accountability for the Tamil families of the disappeared.